Guys, I've officially hired Alysia Liu as my therapist, as my free therapist, and she doesn't even know. And by the end of the video, I think you will have hired her as well. So, quickly, have you ever been so close to something big and then completely choked when it mattered most? I personally had this. I was on track for a track and field scholarship, but unfortunately, I was always choking when I was supposed to perform. So like I was very talented and I had potential and people saw that, but I never got anywhere with it. Like I truly just always choked and so I never got anywhere. But when I was watching Alysia Liu's comeback, it made me realize that the problem wasn't pressure, it was attachment. So we're going to talk about her attachment and her philosophy, and honestly, it is so inspiring. So let's get right into it. Welcome to the channel, by the way, all about growth, mindset, self-improvement, and productivity. Please like and subscribe if you do enjoy. But anyway, so who is Alysia, aka my therapist? So she is a figure skating prodigy. Huge expectations and pressure on her from a very young age. Olympic level pressure. She retired at 16 after already winning, so I don't know exactly all the different championships and stuff that she won, but she was amazing. She'd already been to the Olympics, and so she retired. But she came back later, freer, happier, and stronger. And basically, her comeback wasn't about technical upgrades at all. It was about her relationship to the sport and to performance. So her old mindset was that identity equaled performance. So the trap here is that when your identity fuses with outcome, it is if I win, I'm worthy. If I lose, I'm nothing. If I fail, everyone sees I am a fraud. And this creates a tightness, an overtraining, a perfection paralysis, and choking, which I was just talking about, I totally suffered from and still suffer from in other areas of my life. So it wasn't about being untalented myself, it was about being overloaded. So the Alysia Liu mindset shift. So I'm gonna go into four principles, but very quick aside about Alysia. Basically, she stopped the sport because it was like so much pressure and stuff. And then I believe it was a skiing trip actually that she went on with her friends, and just being back in like I guess snow and ice, it feels similar, and realizing how much fun she was having, she kind of realized like, what if I just returned to the sport but didn't put pressure on myself? And I mean, you guys have probably been seeing her everywhere. This new mindset has taken her to heights that she hadn't even reached before, and it was basically just because she completely detached. She was like, you know what? Like, F it, like, I'm just going to approach the sport from a totally different perspective. So jumping into these four principles, detach your identity from the outcome. So she came back not needing skating to prove anything. And the application that you could do too is that you perform better when you don't need it. Needing creates contraction and wanting creates expansion. So think about and reflect, what are you making mean too much about you? And honestly, like I think we even see this, like people always talk about this also in romantic relationships, like when you detach, everything is better. Two is to choose joy over ego. So Alysia talked about skating because she wanted to, not because she had to. And the performance psychology backs this. So intrinsic motivation improves fluidity. Joy reduces our cortisol, so you're going to perform better, obviously, and be less likely to choke. And relaxed athletes react faster. So when you're trying to protect your ego, your body locks up. And I think intuitively this just makes sense. I mean, everybody can relate to when you feel stressed or panicked. Viscerally, there is a change. And how are you supposed to perform when you are being so overwhelmed and hijacked by your nerves? Three is to treat it like a game again. Elite performers often describe flow state as playful, curious, light, and of course, a little bit of nerves, like, of course that helps you. I think everybody always says that, but the point is when you are hijacked from your nerves, then you can't be fun. You can't be able to express yourself. Four is you are allowed to walk away and come back stronger, exactly like Alysia did. She retired, she rested, she redefined herself, and she came back stronger. So the message here is that stepping away is not quitting. Sometimes it might be reclaiming your autonomy, and it also gave her time to realize that the sport actually meant a lot to her, that she actually did love it, and that if she just took away all of the expectations and pressure, that she could actually love it again. So, a quick aside on why we choke. So, choking happens when self consciousness spikes, when the prefrontal cortex overengages, and automatic skills become micromanaged. I can personally really relate to this because with my track and field event, there were like a lot of like little technical aspects to it that I was micromanaging, and therefore I wasn't even able to perform well, even though I had the potential and people saw it. I just couldn't live up to it, which is honestly kind of sad. But in hindsight, like, I'm not mad about it or anything. I'm so happy to have this insight now, and now I can bring this sort of detached energy to new things that I pursue, and hopefully you can do that as well. So if you start thinking about how you're running instead of just running, pressure leads to identity threat, leads to over control, leads to performance drop, and the same goes for any activity that you are pursuing. So now let's talk about some practical things we can do to apply the Alysia Liu mindset, aka our therapist. So one is to lower the meaning. So before performance, say, this is one data point, not a definition. And performance, it doesn't have to be a sport. It could be something in school. It could be something in work. It could be a presentation. It could be going on a date. It could be anything. Two, it's to separate who you are from what you do. So you could journal on this. This is a journaling prompt. Who am I without this goal? Would I still respect myself if this didn't work? Do not let it define you. Three is to build a joy ritual. So before high stakes moments, maybe use some music, some light movement, some humor, something playful, just to get yourself out of your head. And four is to practice win or learn. Never win or lose. So either you win or you learn. And if you lost, you didn't lost, you learned. You are always going to gain something, whether that is a medal or a learning. So in conclusion, I used to think I choked because I wasn't good. Now I think I choked because I cared too much about what it meant. And give yourself grace for that. It's respectful that you cared and that I cared, but honestly, I cared too much, and now I know that. But the beautiful thing about mindset is that it's learnable. So detachment isn't giving up, it's giving yourself freedom. And play like it doesn't define you, okay? And you might surprise yourself. So whether this is going to apply the next time that you have to give a presentation at work, the next time that you have to take an exam in university, the next time you have to have an uncomfortable conversation with a family member or go on a date with someone you're nervous to go on a date with. It doesn't matter in what realm of life, you can apply this. So detaching, it gives you I can't even describe how much power that gives you. So try to channel that and think to yourself, what is an area of my life that I can apply the Alysia Liu mindset?